Well, guys, welcome to another session of this DSS, the session 5. So, in the last session, we have discussed on the what you can say a very important part, that is CIP, Continuous Improvement Program, strategy for the continuous improvement of the DSS software. That block diagram we have discussed. So, its main heart is this one. Today we are going to see, that is software processes. Okay. And we have gone through their 4 important processes. Software development process, it is mainly concerned with the life cycle of the product. Software testing process, deployment and maintenance process. So today we'll see each one of them, how they are going to function. So each of the process, you can see, has got its own metrics. Like software development metrics, if you see, so let us see what are the performance parameters related to the software development process. So these metrics define the measurements related to the life cycle phases of the software development process. See guys, life cycle phases means it is a design, system design life cycle. Okay, normally it starts with from the scratch, how you are getting the specifications, how you are going to reach the specifications, how you are collecting them from the customers, how you are modeling the hardware and software, how you are converting those hardware and software models or flow charts or logic diagrams into the implementation phases, like that until we get the product. So all those different stages of the life cycle are coming under these metrics of the software development. So the typical life cycle phases includes like software requirements process, which kind of softwares are required. We have to decide what could be the high level design, front end design or low level design, and software coding. So these are some of the examples which are to be kept in mind whenever we will discuss about the software development process. So its performance can be assessed based on these things. To what extent its high level design or low level design, software coding are met. Okay, so these metrics measures the effectiveness of these processes. That's what I just told here. Next one, software testing metrics or something like that here. It measures the effectiveness of the software testing process, like for DSS, the test life cycle can include unit testing. Okay, unit testing means it is concerned with that I told you, each subscriber line is terminating in its own line equipment number. Okay, and there in that is there in the line module. So line module is going to take care of testing that equipment to ensure that the call request we are getting is genuine and is not happening because of the line fault, and some other more things are coming under this unit testing. Integration testing, feature testing means whether the features are allocated or not, we have to test it. Regression testing means whether everything is reliably happening or not, we have to test it. And system testing, which are coming under the software testing metrics. Software deployment metrics, if you see here, so these are collected during the deployment of a release in Common Office. For example, the most effective metrics in this category are application success metrics and number of patches applied at the time of deployment. Means during deployments means during the installation you can take for our level of understanding. Okay, let us assume that the local exchange or common office is now purchasing one new version of software or any hardware setup will be there. The people supplier people will come with installation of particular packages, and they will apply some patches also that you have seen many times during the time of deployment. Sorry. So it depends on the success application success metrics. Means they will apply it randomly and rigorously in different situations to see whether it is working reliably or not, and if not, they will apply the patches at the time of deployment of the installation. That is one of the parameter has been used in order to assess the software deployment process performance. Okay, based on this, the threshold and objectives will be decided in that CIP block diagram. Last one is software maintenance metrics here. So these are normally collected once and release is installed. once the release is installed. The most important are the number of patches applied, number of defective patches found, and effectiveness of diagnostic programs. So how well you are sure that the defective patch is found, it is a defective or not. If it is a defective, whether you are going to apply the patch or not, and what is the effectiveness of the diagnostic program. So all these things are parameters which are assessed in order to measure the performance of the software maintenance process. Customer satisfaction metrics normally include like billing errors, directly related with customers only, the billing errors. Okay, cut off during conversation, in the middle only, of the middle of the conversation only, the communication will be going off. Slow dial tone, okay, slow dial tone may be there, and other digital switching related problems which are coming under the customer satisfaction matrices. So these are the some important you can say maintenance metrics you have to keep in mind. Sometimes you get this question like explain briefly about the important processes used in the what you can say continuous improvement of the DSS software. Or sometimes you may also get briefly explain about the maintenance metrics of the processes used in the DSS software upgradation or continuous upgradation. So next we can see the defect analysis. Listen here guys, this is another very important part of this module 5 here, part 1 module 5. So this defect analysis you can see here, each part now we are taking separately for the discussion. In the last video what we discussed, no? Continuous improvement of the DSS program. Now each part now we are taking it separately. There you have seen the defect analysis is there at the bottom, at the top CIP is there, and in between you got the processes. So those processes now we have discussed so far. Okay, so the defect analysis is the base process for the strategy for the continuous improvement of the DSS software. Okay, so it may include the field failures which are classified according to the severity. Severity means how much is the trouble is there. The trouble is more, or how much is the impact of the trouble is there. So whether that failure is impacting a lot or not much, or is it medium or not, it is very small, like that. So field failures that cause system outages. Okay, so field failures we may get because of the outdating of the devices or systems, which outages may be due to out of date of the systems, or maybe inefficiency of the performance in performing the particular tasks, which may be classified as critical or less severe or major or minor ones. Okay, so far we have discussed only critical, major or minor faults. We can see critical faults, less severe, critical faults, major faults, and minor faults. Three types are there. So causal analysis of these failures, especially critical and major ones, is conducted first, and we have seen that as per the Balker's standard, critical and critical fault should be got fixed within 24 hours. Okay, whereas major ones should be done within 32. So after the analysis, the causes of failure are generally categorized as software, hardware, or procedural. So the failures may be occur due to the software problems or hardware problems, or maybe due to the some steps we have missed, or did the mistake in following the some steps in the procedure. Okay, all these things are coming under the report what you are going to write in the defect analysis there. For example, so listen here guys, this is very important point we are covering. One question is fixed on this always. Okay, we'll take an example here. By applying the causal analysis, always we'll take the causal analysis, means we can practically, it is a practical one. Okay, to the hypothetical DSS developed for this purpose. Okay. So based on the software architecture of the digital switch, software problem may have originated from CPU, central processor software. You may assume that it may be occurring because of the software of the CPU, or it may be that is in the third level, or it may be occurring some fault with the software kept in the network processor, that is a level 2 control, or it may be occurring with the software kept in the interface control, that is a level 1, or peripheral software lines and trunks which are going to control those things. So we may think that based on the software architecture, the digital switch may be facing the software problem based on the software faults occurring at each of these three level controls: CP, NCP, or IC, or peripheral. Okay. So the next step is to identify the software subsystem that caused this problem. Okay, at each level of the control we have seen RTOS is there, kernel is there. Whether that software problem is there in the kernel or that is there in the CPU, we have to identify. Means whether the problem is there with the operating system or database system which is there in the level 2. Recovery software problem is there, the problem with the recovery software is there or not. Switching system software problem is there, or application software like features. That next we have to identify. So next step is, once we classify the field failures, then is completed, then failing software module is identified. Means in which software module the fault is there, that is isolated. The search is conducted to identify why this module is failed and which life cycle it has failed. That is very much important. That's what I told you. So life cycle is very much important here. Sorry. So step by step they will go. At each of the level 3s, they will identify first whether the problem is there with the CP, NCP, or ICs, which are easily visible in the block diagram. Next, they will identify in which whether it is a problem with the OS kept at the each level, or is a problem with the switching software or application software that has been identified. Then they will go for the particular model in which this software is going to work. Then they will also identify why this module has stopped working or failed to work, in which phase of the life cycle it failed to work. They will identify. So the patch is issued to correct the problem, but the objective of this strategy is to fix the process so that this type of fault will not recur once again occur. Okay. So based on these things, field trouble report will be done. It's something like FIR. First information report we are doing in some of the police cases FIR. Here we'll do FTR, field trouble report it is called. Okay. So let us see what is happening here. For example, we'll take name of the digital switches. Digital switching system type is class 5. Okay, guys, we know that there are many types of classes of the COs are there, digital switching types are there. We are discussed in the module 1 itself. Okay. Sorry. The location is given US, anytime. Type of failure, software is there. Duration of the failure 10 minutes. Since 10 minutes it is failed to operate. So impact is lost all calls. So in which reason this fault has occurred, whichever the customers are coming in that location, they lost their calls. So hence the priority is critical. Means it is a critical fault, not major or minor. It is a critical fault. Like that they will decide severity of the fault. Okay. Like that you try to explain in your own sentences. So during heavy traffic, how we can picturize the problem here. During heavy traffic period on Monday, January 1 at 9 o'clock in the morning, the DSS lost all call processing. Okay, in that area we got lost this the DSS call processing or supervisory operation. Otherwise, we cannot get the call establishment. An automatic recovery process initiated the system. Okay, it booted it tried to self-diagnose by itself. The system recovered in about 10 minutes. Within 10 minutes, it recovered by itself. Yesterday night, some patches were added to correct some feature X problems. Self diagnosis was applied in the morning now, and yesterday night some patches were applied to correct some future problems. Feature X was deactivated as a precaution. So in the morning, as precaution for the recovery process, even though patches have been added, but feature X was deactivated. So this trouble report indicates a problem in feature X. Understood? So the problem is solved in the morning, okay, by self-diagnosis, by deactivating the feature X. Otherwise, we'll be getting the problem. Means the problem is there residing with the feature only. So this is how we have to identify and isolate the problem here. So analysis of the patch and any printout during the initialization process indicates the application software of the CP. So the failing module can then be identified. Further analysis of the defective module could identify the life cycle phase by the following possibilities, like requirement phase. The requirement was incorrectly captured, causing the design and code to be defective. Means somebody has given the wrong requirement and that has given the wrong design and the code. The problem is not the design and the code, but with the requirement. That is the requirements phase. Problem is there in the requirements phase problem. Design phase. Captured the requirement was correct, but the translation of requirements to design, some specifications are wrongly mapped. 5 volt may be there, you have taken 5.5 volt. 10 hertz frequency may be there, or you have taken 9 hertz. Was wrong and causing defective code. Code phase, captured requirement was correct, translation was correct, but the written code was defective, and we are very well known about this, where we are going to do the mistakes, manual mistakes, when you are going to do the programming. Okay, like that there are 3 phases are there: requirement, design or code phases. They will be isolated. Next, last one is a test phase, where sorry, the captured requirement was correct, translation was correct, code was correct, but the testing phase did not detect the problem with the testing. So assume for this particular case, the Gaussian analysis identifies the failure as being in the test phase. Now we assume that the failure has happened in the test phase. Looking at the result of casual analysis and the problem report, it is clear that the problem seems to be traffic sensitive, indicating lack of testing with high traffic load. Means during peak hours, testing has failed. That's what they are concluding here. Okay. Stop.